Hello, Professor. My name is Amauri Ortiz, and today I'm going to discuss the assignment, sampling, article review, and scale of measurement for the class Statistics and Probability. The problem statement is that this study aims to investigate and classify the activities performed by nurses to identify interruptions and verify human and environmental factors related with interruptions. The gap in the literature is that nurses work in an unpredictable, complex, nonlinear, noisy environment composed by several professionals from different categories and with different technologies. There was lack of information. The purpose statement is that this investigation was quantifying the number of interruptions that nurses have in time frame. The tentative research. Inductive research approach. The type of study is that this is a single-center, cross-sectional, and observational study. The procedure was descriptive. The method was observational study counted with a sample comprising 25 nurses working in pediatric or adult surgical or intensive care units of a university hospital. This study is quantitative. The person who helped me from the library was Sherry Cortez. The big question is how does nurses manage their time? The information. Nursing plays an essential role in assuring safety within the health system due to the direct and permanent contact with patients and their family. According to Institute of Medicine, the interruptions are quite common in hospitals. The number of interruptions experienced by nurses range from 0.4 to 13.9 interruptions per hour, according to this type of unit under observation. The null hypothesis is that nurses are interrupted all the time by nurses, patients, and visitors. The alternative hypothesis is that nurses are not interrupted. To test this hypothesis data, the nurses were predominantly young adults, median 28 years old. The activities performed by nurses were classified by a group of specialists through the descriptive analysis of activities performed by nurses after a Delphi study. The activities were categorized after data collection as direct patient care, indirect patient care, care management, unit management, and professional activities. The inclusion criteria to sample determination was set as the agreement to participate in the research. Thus, in the study, Unit 26 nurses were identified. Inclusion criteria embrace acceptance to participate and work at morning and evening shift. The option to include only nurses of the morning and evening shift had the purpose of promoting the analysis of similar work characteristics compared to the night period. One nurse was excluded due to medical leave during the period of data collection. The sample comprised 25 nurses working in an adult critical care. The result of this research is that the researcher observed 2,295 activities performed by nurses, 50.3 activities per hour, with predominance of indirect patient care activities of 38.6%, followed by direct patient care 22.5% and care management 18.2%. Unit management activities and personal activities occur with almost similar frequencies, 10% and 10.6%, respectively. The conclusions. Interruptions were identified in 719 cases, the 31.2% out of 2,295 activities, resulting in one interruption in every 3 executed tasks on average. It was observed that some activities were interrupted more than once, totaling 1,180 interruptions or 7.9 interruptions per hour. Such Events occur more frequently during indirect patient care, care management, and direct patient care. As for the source, it was noticed a greater number of interruptions caused by the nursing staff and by physicians and medical residents. The population of this study were nurses from a surgical or intensive care unit of an university located in the city of Sao Paulo, Brazil. The sample was 25 nurses working in an intensive care unit of an university hospital. The variable. The independent variable is the number of interruptions. The dependent variable is the number of nurses. The sampling procedure. The inclusion criteria to sample determination was set as the agreement to participate in the research. In the study unit, 26 nurses were identified. Inclusion criteria embrace acceptance to participate and work a morning and evening shift. The option to include only nurses of the morning and evening shift had the purpose of promoting the analysis of similar work characteristics compared to the night period. One nurse was excluded due to medical leave during this period of data collection. Thus, the sample comprised 25 nurses working in the adult criteria care. A. Nurses, the 32.0%. Pediatric critical care, 7 nurses, 28%. Pediatric surgical care, 4 nurses, the 16%. And adult surgery, 6 nurses, 24%. Unit of university hospital. The level of measurement is ratio. The data analysis is that the statistical method used by the researcher was observational study. The data collection was performed by a single observer after a pilot study conducted in the pediatric critical care unit with 4 nurses, totaling 8 hours of observation. The pilot study aimed to test data collection strategies and structure forms. The nurses were observed individually during 2 working hours in 3 different days, and it allowed monitoring all the moments in their work shift, beginning, middle, and end. The professionals were observed in different periods of the day shift based on the random drawing of the observation sequence of each professional and unity. Thus, 150 hours of nursing activities were investigated. The findings. The current study found influence of the number of individuals in the unit, the number of patients undergoing surgical care who were classified as high dependency and semi-intensive patients, as well as linear increase in interruptions caused by caregivers and other health professionals according to their number and the time of observation. This study provided subsidies to identify factors with potential to compromise patient safety based on the current knowledge in field and to conduct further researches on the implementation of interventions to mitigate the impact of interruptions on patient safety. However, comparison with other studies are difficult due to the methodological approach and healthcare system characteristics of developed and developing countries. The metacognitive reflection. The reason why I choose this article as my project is because the topic is interesting, and as a future nurse I will be in the same situation of the nurses in this study. Furthermore, was interesting to learn something new while I was creating this project. I hope this investigation can show the rest of my classmates something interesting that the nurses must deal with every day, the interruptions. These are the reference. Thank you so much.